There are very few opportunities at Glebe Cottage to do some completely new planting. I mean, we've been in the garden now for more than 30 years and it's pretty well established. But we've built these new raised beds that sort of tumble down the hillside. There are 4 of them altogether. And they're presenting this opportunity to plant all manner of wonderful things. But the whole backbone of these beds is going to be formed from plants I'm going to propagate myself from the rest of the garden. And I'm going to begin that process by growing loads of stuff from seed. And some of it I'm collecting today. Well, it's not exactly the perfect day for collecting seed. What you want is a really dry, warm, sunny day, and preferably still too. But nonetheless, this is my last opportunity to gather seed of this glorious dark red astrantia. It's one of my favourite perennials anyway, but this crimson one is really a particular favourite. Now here, the whole thing's gone brown, and it's probably just about dry enough to collect. So what I'm going to do is snip it very, very carefully, put it into my paper bag. Oh, don't want to lose one seed. And there, I hope the seeds will just fall into the bag and I'll be able to sow them straight away. Well, these are such precious things. I've got everything ready here, and first of all, I want to discover just what's in here. Now, a lot of people would just save their astrantia seed and sow it the following spring, but I invariably sow it immediately because then you're in with 2 chances. Occasionally, it will germinate for you straight away. Sometimes, after a few weeks, you just know it's not going to work. Don't despair. I just put the seed tray outside to experience really severe cold and leave it there all winter, because it's the cold that actually breaks the dormancy. So all I'm going to do is cover the seed with a bit of grit. No compost at all. I'll label that and then I'll water it. And instead of watering it from above, which will swish that seed about all over the place, I'll let it imbibe some water from, shove it in a washing up bowl or something like that. And just imagine how many seedlings I'm going to have to enhance these beds. Now, another plant that I'm so anxious to get into these beds is Hesperis matronalis. Sweet rocket, dame's violet. It's got all these vernacular names that all allude to its beautiful perfume. And I got a particularly fine plant this year. It was just scrumptious. And it was so prolific that instead of picking each stem individually when it went to seed, I just took my shears and took the lot down. It's going to give me, I know, absolutely masses of seed. Collect your seed at the very point at which it's thoroughly dry, and if it would work in nature, it's almost certainly going to work for you. Now, I'm going to sow this lot, and by the spring I'll have small plants, and I can start to decide just where I'm going to plant it. Hesperis is a short-lived perennial. You'll get a few years out of it. Some people treat it as a biennial, but I'm also going to include lashings of hardy annuals. I love plants like Nigella and Calendula, and their seeds are just ready for collection. And because they're hardy annuals, I don't have to wait till the spring to sow them. I can sow them directly into these beds later on this autumn, and that means that they'll establish really well and they'll make good strong plants and flower much earlier next year. Well as hardy annuals, there are lots of half-hardy annuals to collect, and this cosmos has just been out of this world. I sowed it quite early this year, February or March. So what I'm going to do, instead of just randomly taking any old seed heads, is I'm going to select the plant that I think has got the most beautiful flowers. So although I'm not guaranteed exactly the same flowers next year, I'm in with a fighting chance if I collect things from here. I'm going to dry them in a paper bag. It needs to be cool, it needs to be dark, so I know that these flowers are going to grace those new beds. I won't see any bare soil at all, because in between all my perennials and all the other things that are going in there, I'm going to have a great clouds of this lovely, lovely flower.